Live from WFSB, Elliot Polikoff with Sports Sunday.
Welcome to Sports Sunday. I'm Elliot Polikoff, and we have got a jam-packed show on tap tonight. The Connecticut Sun doing what they've been doing for the last few weeks. The Mets rising up the NL wildcard standings. But we're starting off with the biggest rivalry in the Northeast. Some would even say in sports. Red Sox, Yankees. New York's already won the first 3 games of this 4-game set, and a 4-game sweep will give the Bronx Bombers an 8-game lead in the AL East. The Yankees going for their 5th straight win. The Red Sox have lost 7 in a row. And early on, you could see why both of those trends have been happening. David Price serves one up to Aaron Judge. And just like that, it's 1-0 Yankees. Bottom of the 3rd inning, same score. Gio Urshela has been so good for the Pinstripes this year, and he keeps the good times rolling tonight. The 2-run bomb makes it 3-0 New York, and the Yankees just getting started. Still in the 3rd, 5-0 now. Mike Tauchman with a base hit to right. That scores a couple of more runs for the Yankees. David Price doesn't even make it out of the 3rd inning for Boston. It's 7-0 New York in control. But here come the Red Sox. Christian Vasquez getting things started for Boston with a solo shot to left. Still a long ways to go in the comeback attempt, but that'll help. Next batter up is Michael Chavis, and he hits one 435 feet to left center. The Sox chipping away at that big Yankees lead. They've gotten a little bit closer. It is currently 7-4. New York still on top in the 8th inning, but Boston running out of time to make a comeback. Well, don't look now, but the New York Mets, not the Yankees, but that other team out in Queens, entered today just 4 games out in the NL wildcard race. This is a team that have won 8 of their last 9, and they've only lost 1 series since the All-Star break. The Mets trying to win the rubber match game this afternoon in Pittsburgh, and it didn't take long to put some runs on the board. Michael Conforto with the solo shot to center, 1-0 New York. Later in the 1st, J.D. Davis getting in on the action with a long ball to left. That's a 2-run shot right there. Makes it 3-0, and the Mets just getting started in this one. 3rd inning, 4-0 now. Robinson Cano with the line drive to right field. Todd Frazier trying to score all the way from first base, and he turns on the Jets, and he ends up making it home. Cano with the RBI double, but Robinson Cano actually had to leave the game later with a left hamstring injury. That did not slow down the Mets offense in this one, though. Top of the 6th, 9-0 New York. Bases loaded. Juan Lagares, he drives in a couple more with that base hit to left. 11-0. Mets fans liking what they see. How about one more home run just for good measure? Jeff McNeil, a 2-run bomb in the 7th. 13-0 Mets. They go on to win at 13-2. They are now just 3 games back in the NL wildcard race. Elsewhere in baseball, the Yard Goats breaking out the bats as well tonight. They drop a baker's dozen on Trenton, beating the Thunder 13-7. And a rough day for the New Britain Bees. They fall to York 10-1. At some point this season, you knew the Connecticut Sun were going to face some adversity. The real question was, how would the squad respond to it? Well, after a 5-game losing streak a month ago, I think the answer to that question is the Sun are doing just fine. The Sun looking for their 7th straight W this afternoon, taking on the New York Liberty. Late 1st quarter, Jasmine Thomas with the triple, and the Sun up 14. And Connecticut just keeping their foot on the gas pedal in this one. Loose ball late in the 2nd quarter ends up in the hands of Courtney Williams, and Williams knows what to do with it. The 3-ball, she just couldn't miss in this game. And then the final seconds of the 1st half, some nice defense turning into some even better offense. Courtney Williams with a pretty floater, and the Sun up 15 at the half. 2nd half, Williams to a wide open Alyssa Thomas, and she goes glass. Apparently, the bank is open late on Sundays. The Sun kept this one a double-digit lead pretty much the entire way. Bria Holmes with a 3-pointer to make it 82-68 Connecticut. She had 15 points on the day. Courtney Williams led the way with 28 points as the Sun get it done on the road, beating New York 94-79. The future of men's golf out at Keeney Park this past week. 144 of the best junior golfers in the country competed for the Jack Nicklaus Trophy. That goes to the Boys Junior PGA Champion. The 4-day tournament got off to a bit of a rough start with a weather delay. You had golfers hitting some practice shots from the sand or off of the tee to pass the time, but the weather didn't prevent some history from being made. Jake Bieber Frankel, he's from Miami, Florida, committed to Stanford. He shot a 60 in the 2nd round. That's not just a Keeney course record, that's a tournament record, and he just missed shooting a 59. Trenton Blundell from the PGA said that they're used to seeing low scores from winners who go on to play on the PGA Tour.
Tiger Woods has played, Jordan Spieth has played, Justin Thomas has played. Who's won our past two, Akshay Bhatia, plans to turn professional this September. Made his PGA Tour debut at the Valspar earlier this year, so exciting stuff.
Bieber Frankel and Cannon Claycomb trading blows back and forth in the early rounds, with Claycomb leading after the first and second rounds before Bieber Frankel took the lead heading into the final 18 holes. And that set the stage for a fun finish out at Keeney Park. Milford, Connecticut native Ben James, one of a few locals in contention. He had a nice birdie right there on 15, finished tied for 9th at -14. Andy Mao, he is headed off to Georgia Tech this fall to play for the Yellow Jackets. That birdie on 17 put him at -20, right there at the top of the leaderboard. Needed a birdie on 18 to tie for the lead. The putt looked good, but it ended up coming just short, curving in front of the hole. He finished at -19. Cannon Claycomb, he still has another year of school. He needed this one to tie as well, and that one just misses. He finished at -20, and that means that Jack Heath, who started the day 5 strokes back, he caught fire on the back 9, though, shot a final round 62 to finish at -21, and he wins the Boys Junior Championship by 1 stroke. Congrats to Jack. He will be a senior this upcoming year in high school, and he just committed to play golf at San Diego State. From golf's rising stars to the pros, there have been a lot of first-time winners on the PGA Tour this season. Guys like Colin Morikawa, Dylan Fratelli, Matthew Wolff. Combine these new names with guys like Tiger Woods and Brooks Koepka bringing home some majors, and it's an exciting time for golf right now. Final round of the Wyndham Championships, where a bunch of under-the-radar golfers were atop that leaderboard heading into the day. Ryan Armour, he is not one of those guys. He won last year for his first PGA Tour win, but doesn't get any better than that eagle on the par 4 13th. He finished at -13. JT Poston, he is looking for his first ever Tour W. That birdie at 15 puts him at -22 and alone in the lead. Byung-Hun An entered the day atop the leaderboard. This birdie on 16 puts him just 1 stroke back of JT Poston, and things getting a little interesting out in Greensboro, North Carolina. Poston was a couple of groupings ahead of on the 18th for par to finish at 22. Poston makes it look real easy, and JT ends up getting that win, edging out Webb Simpson by 1 stroke. Pretty cool moment for him in the clubhouse, celebrating with his family. To the final round of the Women's British Open earlier today, and some late hole drama in this one. Lizette Salas with a big-time birdie putt on 15 to go to -17, but Hanako Shibuno with the answer. Her birdie putt on the 15th goes right in, and she is at -17 as well. Salas on the 18th to go to -18. Just misses it, so she is in the clubhouse at -17. Shibuno on the 18th. This is for the win, and she nails it. What a way to win a major. Hanako Shibuno, she is the Women's British Open champ. Entering today, 5 races remained before the NASCAR Monster Energy Cup playoffs get underway out in Vegas. Chase Elliott, well, he's got a great last name, and he's already qualified for the playoffs thanks to a win at Talladega back in May. But he had not been racing at all recently this well. Elliott hadn't posted a top 10 finish in his last 7 races, but he gets off to a strong start at Watkins Glen, winning stage 1, and he kept that momentum going into the second stage as well, which wrapped up under caution after Bubba Wallace spun out and hit the tires in the carousel turn. Fast forward to the final lap, and it came down to Elliott and Martin Truex Jr. Truex Jr. putting up a good fight, but he can never quite catch Elliott, who led 80 of the 90 laps in this one to come out on top and pick up some big-time momentum heading into the playoffs. So once again, Elliott came out on top. Just want to make sure you knew. We got a lot more coming up on this edition of Sports Sunday. I promise that I will stop trying to reference myself, though. Can't make any guarantees. When we come back, though, the UConn football team continuing to prepare for their season opener. We'll hear from some members of the football team coming up next, and where you could have gone to see some of the best women's bowlers compete this past week. That was right here in Connecticut. We'll take a look when Sports Sunday continues after this quick timeout. Welcome back to Sports Sunday here on Channel 3. I'm Elliot Polikoff. The UConn football team, they spent the first official day on campus last week doing what everybody does at the beginning of the year, getting their pictures taken. Coaches and players showed up at the Burton Family Football Complex for individual and team photos. Head coach Randy Edsall then met with the players as they prepare for their season opener later this month. His message is pretty simple. You do your job, we'll do ours.
Just show us what you can do, and then it's our job is to utilize you some way, somehow. The more versatility you have, the better on both sides of the ball. You know, and then there's guys that'll, you know, might be just strictly special teams guys, which is fine because you need guys like that. So that's going to be my message to our players is go out and just do your job, play hard, show us what you can do, practice hard, and then what happens is you create opportunities for yourself to get on the field.
There are 99 players on the roster for UConn, 79 scholarship players, and 20 walk-ons. The Huskies' first game is Thursday, August 29th against Wagner. And remember, this is their final year in the AAC before a journey into what is currently the unknown. And speaking of the Huskies' impending exit, the Senate Republican leader in our state says the UConn Foundation should foot the bill for the university leaving the American Athletic Conference, and not the taxpayers or students. State Senator Len Fasano suggested that instead of using those methods to pay the $20 million in exit and entrance fees, that the fundraising arm for the university should pay the money. This comes as the Huskies are set to return to the Big East Conference for all sports except for football. State Senator Fasano also said in part, quote, money that students pay to UConn, whether it be for tuition, meals, housing, or any other service, should not be misdirected. To the pros, the New England Patriots, they kick off their preseason this Thursday in Detroit. And when they face the Lions, starting quarterback Tom Brady will likely have a new deal that has him sticking around Foxborough for the foreseeable future. According to ESPN's Field Yates, the 42-year-old quarterback and the Pats are closing in on a contract extension. Of course, this was all but a formality after Brady led New England to yet another Super Bowl title. ESPN's Adam Schefter saying the extension is for 2 years and will pay Brady $23 million this upcoming year. The deal will be adjusted each season. Brady keeps on playing. And keep in mind, no quarterback has ever started all 16 games at the age of 42. But Father Time hasn't really seemed to have an answer for Tom so far in his career, and both Tom and Patriots owner Robert Kraft expects that Brady will be the franchise's quarterback for at least the next couple of years. Where could he go to see the best women bowlers in the country? Well, this weekend it was to the Silver Lanes in East Hartford. The top pros in the game competing for a $10,000 prize. Pretty cool to see some big-time bowling coming to the Nutmeg State. They started things off with the pre-tournament qualifier. The top 11 bowled 8 games, and those with the best total score advanced to the elite field, joining 24 who had already qualified. The Pro Tour has stops all over the country. Last week it was in Houston. Next week it'll be in Louisville. East Hartford is on the schedule for the second year in a row.
In East Hartford, well, we were here last year. Our host, Tony Renault, and his family, who were previous owners of the bowling center, reached out about interest in women's bowling, and we had an opportunity to come out here. So when we had a successful event last year, we said, let's roll it over into our event for this year. So we're coming up here because of the fan base.
The event wrapped up yesterday with a live final day of bowling on CBS Sports Network. Congrats to Shannon O'Keefe on bringing home the title. She defeated Bridget Pupler in the championship match 225-203. And that will do it tonight for this week's edition of Sports Sunday. Thank you for tuning in. I want to thank our producer, Mark Vigilkowski, our director, Kyle Buchanan, and the whole rest of the crew. We leave you with another look at Yankees-Red Sox. Boston still trailing in this one, 7-4 in the 9th inning. I'm Elliot Polikoff. Have a great week, everyone.